Hoge Jahns.
What's up? Welcome in. Hoge Jahns with you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy New League Year.
I'm actually, wait a minute. You're wearing blue, dude. This is your holiday.
That's not my holiday. I don't exactly wear a lot of green stuff. I got like one green polo, maybe two.
You take St. Patrick's Day more serious than like most people I know.
I just had a scone. Just ate a scone with some butter.
Okay.
Homemade Irish scone. My mother-in-law. It's delicious.
But you're wearing blue. Yeah.
It's a workout shirt.
Okay. Well,
Is that the green sweater you wore like a week ago?
at least it's not orange. Just say that. So,
Bears. The Bears Twitter.
Twitter reference
Come
for
on,
you.
Bears. Come on, Bears.
This is the green sweater. Well, because to your point, I think I own two things that are green. I typically wear, my sister once bought me an Irish rugby. I don't even want to call it a jersey because they're like polos, but technically it'd be like the equivalent of a jersey because it's what they wear during the games. It's pretty cool, actually.
Like a real one or like the knockoff old Navy ones from like 15 years ago?
No, I don't. Somewhere in the middle. Like I doubt it's like an authentic $300 one, like what they would actually wear. But it's not. It's a nice thing. It's it's like the more. It's the more expensive like NFL jersey that you would buy. That's not like the one that's stitched on and costs $300. Does that make sense?
Somewhat.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I usually wear that, but then this is my new green sweatshirt, and it seems like I should be wearing this now since I bought it last week.
I wore all my green this past weekend.
Yeah. You drank all the green beer.
No green beer. A lot of corned beef. Corned beef is a meat. See if you agree that you can
It is meat. It is a meat. Yep.
It is meat, but it's a
Confirmed.
meat. Like I feel like I just could like pick at it like nonstop.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Like salami, like cut salami. You just nonstop picking at it. Like corned beef, especially this month, qualifies for me as a nonstop meat. You kind of just snack at. Even after you've had a Reuben, even after you've had some cabbage and potatoes, give me the corned beef.
Yeah, see, I need to go Reuben. Yeah, I got you. Anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day. It is the start of the new league year. Well, that was technically yesterday. It's been kind of boring, to be honest with you.
Well, for Chicago.
But even outside, like, I don't know. Not a lot happened yesterday. Everybody's waiting for the Deshaun Watson trade to happen.
Yeah, it's true. That's it. There was that run of trades before Mac, Russell Wilson. Those are, huge news.
That was all last week, though.
I know. Well, that's the problem. The new league year has lost its effect. Mm-hmm. Now everything's, I don't know, premeditated? Does that word work for you? Pre-planned?
I feel like it started with the Alex Smith trade a few years ago. Like, it used to be that trades weren't really even consummated until, like, the free agency negotiating window opened. Now, and then the Alex Smith trade happened. I'll never forget when that happened. We're at the Super Bowl, at the media party, and all of a sudden Alex Smith got traded. My first reaction was like, what? The Super Bowl hasn't even happened yet. How could a trade happen? This doesn't make any sense. But, like, they agreed to terms, so apparently that was legal. And it just wasn't official until, 3 months later.
When did the Matthew Stafford one go down?
Same
Super
thing.
Bowl week, Super Bowl week too, right?
It happened. It was before. Actually, it was before Super Bowl week because I was still at home. I think it was like the Friday before Super Bowl week.
When everybody goes to Cabo.
There was a quarterback derby in Cabo, which is where you should have quarterback derbies all the time, in my opinion.
I would love to get credentialed for that derby.
Well, that's what I mean. Why didn't nobody tell us? We would have gone. We turned out the Bears were there.
We have thoughts.
Matt Nagy was there.
Present.
Yeah. Well, welcome in. Adam Hoge, Adam Jahns here with you. You can follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns. Read me, allchgo.com. Johnsy's on The Athletic. TheAthletic.com/Hoge Jahns is where you go to subscribe and get all that great content. And allchgo.com where you can subscribe on my end of things and get our great content. So, and hit the subscribe button on YouTube as well. That's just free and easy to do. So you should be doing that anyway, and hit the notification button. Our merchandise is on obviousshirts.com, and we appreciate everybody that goes out and actually, I think I have the.
We actually have orange shirts. I should have worn that.
I don't need to like undress on the show here, but I actually have my beer drinking football guy
Very nice.
shirt on underneath this.
But I just have a dry fit shirt.
Yeah,
blue. Okay.
And that's the play-by-play for those of you not watching on YouTube. Thank you. All right, where should we start? Because not a ton. The Bears haven't done much, quite frankly. We are going to have Matt Schneidman, who covers the Packers, on here in a few minutes to get his take on the Bears signing Lucas Patrick, the new center, it seems like. Potentially guard, but probably center, it seems like. And Pat O'Donnell, different Patrick on St. Patrick's Day, goes to the Green Bay Packers. Punter swapping news.
So, Mr. Special Teams Coordinator, how do you feel about the kicking battery having a new punter and holder?
Yeah, that's honestly my bigger concern. Pat O'Donnell has been I would say a steady, consistent player for the Bears, but not a top tier punter. He's never really been at the top of the league. I
don't think his league average is good this year in terms of punt net.
No, but also it hasn't really been a huge issue either. It's never been a spot where you're like, oh, this is a huge problem that the Bears have. So he's just been sort of steady. I think it's not necessarily a concern. It's just something the Bears are going to have to get used to. But he is the holder. And people don't think about this a ton, but between your long snapper, holder, kicker, it affects your kicker. There is a rhythm to it. There is a cadence to it. There is the way the ball is even spun. Pat Manley can go into much better detail about this than I can. But even the way that the ball is spun from the snapper so that the holder gets the laces right when he catches it, that there's actually a science that's that specific to it. And so to have I can't remember one bad hold by Pat O'Donnell in how many years he's been.
What I do remember is him saving Patrick Scales' ass a couple times.
Yeah.
No offense to Patrick Scales, but that happened. That happened. Yeah. There's a trust involved with the kicker.
Yeah.
And Pat O'Donnell survived the Bears kicking derby. Cairo Santos eventually became the answer to the Robbie Gould conundrum that lasted over their organization for years. But that trust now has to be earned by someone else. This may come off as we're overstating the value of holding a kick.
I don't think you are.
Until we actually see misses because of those holds.
Yeah.
Which are possible, which there's plenty of time to work out, but certainly a possibility this coming year.
Well, and look, it just, as a coach, it's a completely different level, but, we had our top wide receiver, our best player on our team, handle the holding duties because he had the best hands, and we knew we just trusted it. We could trust him the whole season. Snapping was an issue sometimes. Kicking the ball was an issue sometimes, but we didn't have a problem with the hold the entire year. So you just don't want it to become an issue, and it probably won't be. Every team needs a holder. Every team always needs to have a backup that they work on throughout the season. So if Pat O'Donnell had ever gone down, you need to have somebody else that can do it. So it's just something to think about that'll have to be ironed out by the time the Bears start games.
With Pat O'Donnell now in Green Bay, the door, I put this on Twitter, is officially closed on the Phil Emery era. How about that?
Yeah. There are no more players from the Phil Emery era on the team.
He was a sixth-round pick in 2014. Charles Leno Jr. had a good run from the Phil Emery era, but ultimately Pat O'Donnell won that award. The last standing member of the Phil Emery era, last draft pick.
Yeah, which just goes to show you how long he's been here, and he's been, like I said, he's been a steady player. He goes to the Green Bay Packers. So the Bears have Ryan Winslow that they already signed a little while back, so they sort of already had a backup option. There's a few intriguing options out there. I don't know if the Bears are going to be interested.
Johnny Hekker?
Johnny Hecker's available. And he has been one of the best punters in the league. I would say that's an immediate upgrade.
A legit mega punter.
Mega got his punt back.
Remember that training camp?
Yeah.
That was fun for a couple days because Pat O'Donnell was killing the ball, absolutely killing the ball. And the oohs and the ahs from the crowd. They didn't really last into the regular season, but that was a fun couple days in Bourbonnais.
And then there's also, I don't think the Bears should be wasting draft picks on punters, but there is Punt God. Are you familiar with Punt God?
I'm not.
The San Diego State punter.
Oh, yes. I didn't know his nickname was Punt God.
Oh, yeah, Punt God. Matt, I hope I say it right. Matt Ariaza, maybe?
That's why you just call him Punt God.
Punt God, that's what he is. He's this guy that he was going viral during the college football season multiple times because he was just regularly booting 80-yard bombs.
Isn't there some film from the combine of him hitting like an 80-yarder too?
I think so. Oh, at the combine?
At the
Potentially.
combine.
If he did, I missed that.
Well, they're not exactly broadcasted.
Well, I think they should.
The other events, they should. Let's see some mega punters. If there's a guy named Punt God, all you could do is give us, a couple seconds of highlights. It's the least you could do.
Yeah. He was the Ray Guy winner this year, first team All-American. There's a story that somehow let's see, on Monday, I'm just going to call him Punt God. This is from a story, was selected first team All-American by AP, which in turn earned Brady Hoke a $10,000 bonus. Also, he got his head coach a bonus. That's funny how that works in college football. So, yeah, I don't know. I think you have to use a draft pick if you want them, and I don't think the Bears should be using any of their six picks on punters. But if he ended up being a Bear, I'd be happy for sure. Talk about hashtag content.
Yeah, Punt God is... It's a better nickname than Mega Punt.
Yeah, I agree. Mega Punt is now in Green Bay, and he is Matt Schneidman's problem. As we bring in Matt Schneidman to the podcast here on Hoge Jahns. Matt covers the Packers. He's been on here many times, and he takes some time out of his day here to join us. What's up, Matt?
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Just talking punters.
Yeah, regular content here on the podcast.
I love it. Listen, Packers special teams are a disaster. What are they getting in Pat O'Donnell? Is he an upgrade from what they had last year?
Yeah, absolutely he is. I'll give you that, but we were just joking around about how he used to be called Mega Punt back in his heyday in Bourbonnais back in 2014 when he was first drafted. But his average is always above, like his punt net is always, I don't know, in the middle of the pack. He surprises you with a beautiful one every now and then. But in terms of a reliable holder, the guy who's familiar with the cold, I think the Green Bay Packers did okay with him.
Yeah, I think to get a little inside baseball here, that was the Packers' biggest problem with Corey Bojorquez is, yeah, he spent some time in Buffalo, but his holding was really, really bad at the start of the year. And, Mason Crosby missed 10 field goals last year, but the sentiment inside the building was that it wasn't really his fault. It was more the long snapper and the holder. And people sometimes forget, obviously not you guys, but the general public forgets that a punter's job is often also to hold. And that's a huge part of the field goal operation. If you guys, I don't know if you guys remember, but Packer fans obviously remember when they beat the Bengals in overtime in week 5, Mason Crosby missed 3 field goals in the final 2 minutes of the game in overtime. And laces were out, I believe, on 2 of those. And that's often on the holder, not getting the rotation around enough. And Corey Bojorquez really struggled with that. So if you guys say Pat O'Donnell's a good holder, Rich Bisaccia will take him.
Yeah, no, and that's actually what we were talking about mostly. Is like, as punter, they could probably replace him, but let's not forget about holding because it does matter. And to your point, like it can lead to sometimes a string or like a cold streak from your field goal kicker is often part of the operation. It's not all on the kicker.
Right.
And they got to figure that out together as a battery. And so it does matter. All right, there's your punting talk. And
that's enough.
That's enough of that. Tell us about Lucas Patrick and what the Bears are getting. Is he better off at center? Is he better off at guard? And why did it take him so long to be a regular starter?
Yeah, so this is a guy who signed with the Packers. He went undrafted in 2016 out of Duke. Wasn't even signed as an undrafted free agent. He was signed after a rookie minicamp tryout. He was there on a tryout basis, so he was kind of the bottom of the barrel. Spent his entire rookie season on the practice squad. And then my favorite story about Lucas was in 2017 around cut down day. So entering his second year in the league, he's really a fringe guy. Doesn't know if he's going to make the team after spending his whole rookie season on the practice squad. He's driving out of the Lambeau Field players lot with his mom when he hears a knock on his mom's side of the door. He looks over, it's Aaron Rodgers. Now, the way I remember Lucas telling us the story, this was on a Monday in the locker room in 2019 when I wrote this. He was like, wait, Aaron Rodgers knows who I am? And he was like, why does he want to talk to me? So his mom rolled down the window and Aaron basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but said, I'm proud of your son. Keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, it's cliche, but that is when Lucas was like, okay, maybe I belong here. And him and Aaron Rodgers have struck up this really nice friendship, this really nice relationship that's kind of given this undrafted nobody confidence to blossom into what he's become now, which is a really reliable, versatile interior offensive lineman. He's struggled a little bit at center in terms of snapping the ball. He's had a couple errant snaps, but he's rock solid at guard. Played all three interior positions. I believe he's played all three of them in each of the past 2 seasons just because of how many injuries the Packers have had. Started 28 games, played 90% of the offensive snaps in 2020, 82% in 2021. A mauler. I know it's cliche, but he's gritty, hard-nosed, gets it out of the mud. I figured he'd be gone from the Packers because they're trying to go younger on the offensive line, and he's a starting caliber guy. So the Bears are getting a really, really solid starter on the offensive line who can play any of those interior 3 positions at a high level.
So how does he take us to the Aaron Rodgers thing a little bit more if you can? How does he win him over? Is it that mauling side, that willing to get dirty side of him? How does he win over Aaron Rodgers? And then, how does Aaron Rodgers, you think, feel about this now? But I mean, I know you mentioned getting younger, but I think isn't Aaron Rodgers the assistant GM there now after his contract?
Pretty much. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is very attentive of what even bottom of the roster guys do in practice. He's mentioned to us watching practice squad wide receivers from the other side of the field and just how they run routes to see who could be a guy that's called up later in the year who I have to count on. There was a guy a couple years ago named Darius Shepard, just some no name out of North Dakota State, who he was watching in practice for no reason, but then he had to throw to him later in the year. So that's kind of how it was with Lucas Patrick. And it was in training camp in 2019 where Lucas is he's been kind of their, sixth, seventh offensive lineman the past couple of years. And Aaron Rodgers kind of sat down with him in the middle of training camp in the lunchroom inside Lambeau Field. And the way Rodgers put it, Lucas was kind of struggling mentally, struggling with his confidence. And it was just the two of them. And Aaron Rodgers just kind of talked to him, instilled confidence in him. And I remember week 5 of 2019, Lucas had to fill in at center mid-game because Corey Linsley, all-pro center, had a back injury mid-game. And after the game, I asked Rodgers about Lucas and how he thought he did kind of stepping in. Packers won that game pretty big. And he was like, I'm really, really proud of Lucas kind of stepping in. We had a conversation mid-camp. So Rodgers brought this up unprompted about how he and Lucas sat down. And the next Monday in the locker room, a couple of us went up to Lucas and asked him about that. And he went on this whole, I don't want to say rampage, but this whole spiel about how Aaron Rodgers isn't the guy everyone thinks him to be, how he's made him think he belongs in the NFL, how he watches him all the time, how he takes time out of his day to, make sure Lucas is getting better. So I think he's a guy who goes about his business in practice the right way. And Aaron Rodgers took notice of that over a couple of years. And he's gone from that afterthought to kind of a fringe starter to a bona fide starter who he's not going to do anything flashy, but you can count on him day in and day out. He's never going to make a glaring mistake. He's never going to, draw any headlines, but he's a rock solid guy who'll get the job done.
Wait, he was in some headlines this past year. He got choked.
He got choked out by Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
that's right.
How did that happen? I'm surely endears himself to his teammates, willing to go against one of the greatest defensive players of all time.
That's happened 2 years in a row with the Packers in the playoffs in 19 when Elton Jenkins got choked out. And then in the regular season, well, or I should say playoffs in 20 and then regular season 21. I think it just speaks to his ability to get under people's skin by being a gritty guy doing his job well. I don't know exactly what happened there. And I believe I asked Lucas about that the following week, and he kind of jokingly declined comment. He's really good with media, so you guys will like that. He's fantastic, really well-spoken, good guy. But yeah, I think that just speaks to, it's hard to get under Aaron Donald's skin because of how good he is. But Lucas did it. The Packers manhandled the Rams in that game, and kind of just speaks to the kind of guy he is in the trenches.
So now Lucas Patrick gets to be a Bear and find out, like everyone else affiliated with the Bears, what it's like not to have Aaron Rodgers anymore. I'm curious to see how he reacts if Aaron Rodgers has been that important to him. Now he doesn't have him anymore.
And now Pat O'Donnell knows what it's like to not have guys who can cover punts, not have guys who can snap to him. So it's a nice trade-off.
Yeah, I guess you're right. All right, give us an idea of what's going on in Packerland right now. Rodgers is back. Davante Adams tagged. Are they stuck right now? Like, Zadarius Smith left. I mean, where are they with their cap, and how the hell are they going to make this work with all that money going to two players?
They're under the cap. Rodgers is back. That is all smoothed out. The Davante Adams situation, I'm not as well, I would never be worried about it as an objective professional reporter, but I don't think Packer fans should be worried about it. They have 4 months to figure it out. That report comes out because I'm assuming it's the agent trying to force the Packers' hand that he's not going to play on the franchise tag, which, listen, Davante Adams is set to make around the same amount as Christian Kirk. I don't blame him for wanting a lot more. He should want a lot more. He should get a lot more. But as you guys know, deadlines spur action. Aaron Rodgers was not planning to show up to camp until the eve of training camp when he was like, you know what? It's a deadline. I'm just going to come. I don't know if it'll be the same with Davante, but I have a feeling this might have been something the Packers were like, all right, we'll handle this later. This will all get sorted out. As these things do get sorted out. I also don't think Aaron Rodgers comes back unless he has a good idea that Davante Adams will be playing. He and Davante Adams are best friends. And if he's talking to Davante, Aaron knew there was a good chance they would franchise tag Davante. And if Davante's like, I'm not playing on the franchise tag, then I don't know if Aaron signs this 3-year deal unless he has a good feeling that Davante is going to play, whether it's they sign him to an extension or Davante is just bluffing. Either way. What we're waiting on now is kind of the second wave of free agents. Robert Tunyan, who tied Travis Kelce for the NFL lead in touchdown catches among tight ends 2 years ago, tore his ACL last year. He's still on the open market. Rasul Douglas, pick six machine, as Justin Fields knows well. He's still on the open market. They're barely under the cap. I don't know if they have much signing. Pat O'Donnell might have taken that up. But extensions to Jair Alexander, Davante Adams could free up some space to sign those other key guys. So that's where we're at right now. Not as much drama as in other places, which is nice for a change.
Did you say Davante Adams wants Christian Kirk money?
No. I was saying he's making around the same as Christian Kirk.
Well, the Jaguars are insane too.
Well, that's what I was saying. Davante Adams had to have been thrilled when that contract came out.
Yes.
Because Davante Adams not wanting to play on the tag came out before the Christian Kirk deal. And now everyone's like, okay, so that's why Davante Adams doesn't want to play for $20.12 million because Christian Kirk is making $18 million. I don't blame him for that. Chris Godwin just got $20 million. Chris Godwin's a stud, but Davante Adams is better. He should wait to get a lot more. So I think what I'm saying is that deal kind of shifted the public perception more toward Davante in that, okay, he's, like, I already thought he was fine to want that much, but I think the public is like, okay, I see what he's doing and it's warranted.
Right. If Christian Kirk is getting this,
right,
Davante Adams should get a lot more of this,
right,
is what you're saying.
Exactly.
What are they going to do with Jordan Love?
That's a great question.
What's next?
I get the sense, and listen, this is an organization who really values the backup quarterback position, obviously, because they drafted Aaron Rodgers and sat him for 3 years. Granted, we don't see that happen with young quarterbacks anymore. They sit for that long, but I get the sense that the Packers are fine with sitting him for that long. Now, Aaron Rodgers is here for at least 2 more years, probably 3, given the deal he just signed, if we're to read into that. Who knows what will happen with him? That's just my assumption. They have to exercise Jordan Love's 5th-year option or not by next offseason. They're not going to do that because once they do, that 5th-year salary becomes fully guaranteed, as you guys know. And by next offseason, they won't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the team for 1 year or 2 more years. So they wouldn't exercise it and then have his option become fully guaranteed in 2024 and then risk having 2 massive quarterback salaries on the same roster at the same time because Love's salary obviously skyrockets. Brian Gutekunst told us before the combine that he's very doubtful he would entertain trade calls for Jordan Love. I don't know if those calls are coming even, but he said he'd be very doubtful that he would entertain them even if they did. If a team offers a 2nd-round pick, you have to get rid of Jordan Love. You're not going to get a 1st-round pick, which is what you trade up to draft him, and giving up a 4th-rounder in the process to move up 4 spots a couple of years ago. A 3rd-round pick, I'd consider it, but I just don't know what another team would be willing to give him given the limited sample size we have. So my hunch right now is that they stick it out with a backup who knows the system, just in case Rodgers, shockingly retires next year or gets injured. But the big question is, do they think Jordan Love's any good? We don't know. They're never going to tell us the truth because if the answer is no, they're not going to say it publicly or leak it because that would tank his trade value. So we just really don't know. We're going to find out this preseason. He had no rookie preseason. He was injured last preseason. So I think this preseason is going to be a big indicator of what he has. And maybe if he plays well this preseason, another team says, all right, we'll give you a 2nd-round pick, and then they trade him. But anything worse than a 2nd-round pick, I don't see them dealing him.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation because unless there's some team out there that really loved him coming out, it just feels like he's been blocked and can still live up to potential. It just doesn't seem like there's a high demand for him right now. So, yeah, maybe it's a good preseason and all of a sudden there's a deal right before the season starts. But that seems like a tough position. And honestly, I almost feel bad for him, right? Because, he gets drafted in a situation where he can't even really show himself.
And that was the first thing Aaron Rodgers told us. He did an impromptu conference call right after that 2020 draft or a couple weeks after. And one of the first things he told us was, Jordan didn't ask for this. Jordan Love didn't ask for this. And by all accounts, Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers have a great relationship. Jordan's a great kid to kind of sit back there and learn from. It's not kind of a Rodgers and Favre situation where there wasn't a great relationship at first. Rodgers and Love get along. It's just, I don't know if Jordan Love's any good. And that's the reality of the situation. And I'll be fascinated to see if he has a market this offseason.
All right, Hoge Jahns listeners, our next partner is a really cool product. Let's talk about Athletic Greens. If you're looking to get better gut health, more energy, or a stronger immune system in a really easy, natural way, you've got to check out Athletic Greens. I'm sure you'll all agree. Most of us are not huge fans of having to take a bunch of pills or vitamins in the morning, but with Athletic Greens, you can get rid of all of those extra vitamin bottles and finally make some room in your cabinet. Athletic Greens is an all-in-one solution, and you'll really enjoy getting your daily vitamins. Easy to make. You just take a scoop, you put it in some water, shake it up, mix it together. It's really that easy. Then you just drink it. So what is this stuff? Well, with 1 scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All of those things. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Adams. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/Adams to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. All right, guys, I've had my Helix mattress for probably 6 months now, and I absolutely love it. It was so quick and fun to unbox. Just pops up. It's like it inflates. You put it right there. You can sleep on it immediately. And most of all, it's very, very comfortable. Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody's unique. Helix knows that, so they have several different mattress models to choose from. They soft, medium, and firm mattresses, and mattresses great for cooling. So if you sleep hot, then you can sleep cool. And they have mattresses great for spinal alignment to prevent morning aches and pains, and even a Helix Plus mattress for plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz. I was matched with the Dusk mattress because I wanted something that was a little bit more firm, but not completely to like the hard side of things, and it's perfect the way it came. And I'm a back sleeper, so that's also part of the quiz that you fill out. This is the one they gave me, and I'm telling you, it fits. So if you're looking for a mattress, you take the quiz, you order the mattress that you're matched to. Mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free, by the way. Helix is awesome, but you don't need to take my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired Magazine. Helix has been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. Just go to helixsleep.com/Adam, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners right now at helixsleep.com/Adam.
It's NCAA tourney time, and basketball and hockey are in full swing. For many of us, there's no better way to enjoy the games than by having some skin in the game, which is why BetMGM is still the exclusive betting partner of The Athletic. And as a fan of The Athletic, you get a great offer when you use BetMGM too. Sign up with BetMGM, get a $200 bonus when you bet $10, plus get a free 1-year subscription to The Athletic. Just sign up using promo code TheAthleticPod and get in the game with the king of sports books. It's a $200 bonus when you bet 10, plus a free year Athletic subscription when you use The Athletic Pod at checkout. New customer offer. Download the BetMGM app today. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.
Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia only. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, Nevada, and Virginia. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan. 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. And 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. In Tennessee, call or text the red line at 800-889-9789. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. Promotional offer not available in Nevada.
Sure.
I like that the Bears are getting a little nasty. I think Ryan Poles, he ID'd that long ago for this offensive line.
I agree.
And I think, according to Matt, according to others up in Green Bay, Lucas Patrick's going to provide some of that. So I think that's needed. I don't know what exactly the ceiling is for him. He's a 2-year starter, undrafted guy. Really only got a 1-year deal if you think about it, if you break down the contract. So the market really wasn't there for him. So I don't know if what that says about his ceiling out there, what the general consensus of him is in the NFL. But I like you're getting some experience, you're getting some nasty. Should benefit Justin Fields. You hope.
Would you rather have Brian Allen?
Yes.
Yeah. And that contract he got from the Rams didn't seem that crazy. Wasn't it 3 years, $24 million?
See, the reason why Allen was so intriguing is there was that possibility that he wanted to return home, as opposed to sticking it out with Super Bowl champs, which is obviously what he preferred instead of coming back home to Chicago. I mean, winters in L.A. are probably better than winters in Chicago, but
I think he actually, from what I understand, he did have interest in being a Bear, and I think it came down to the money. Yeah, 3 years, $24 million, so it comes out to $8 million a year. Seems like a fair deal for a guy who's been playing pretty well for a Super Bowl champ, and the Bears just didn't go to that level. I mean, sometimes that's just what it comes down to in these things. So, the Michigan State Spartan from Hinsdale stays out there in
State
LA.
Wrestling champion.
Yeah, I like old linemen that wrestle. I definitely do. It's a good thing to do. And skilled players that run track. That too. Gonna round out your your athletic abilities, Johnson.
You do. Multi-sport athletes.
Well, you're multi-sports.
I played volleyball.
I did
played some
too.
travel baseball as a kid.
Okay.
We all played basketball up until freshman year. That was it. I don't want to do track. I don't
I
track
didn't do.
and field
I don't
wasn't
like
my
running.
thing. Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
running.
Neither do I.
No.
Still don't like running.
That's why I played
Like-
basketball until 2 years ago, because I don't think about running when I'm playing basketball.
But that's a better workout than running, I think.
I think so too. It's not just straight line stuff.
It's true. A lot of lateral quickness needed. So what else? I mean, they signed Nicholas Morrow at linebacker. I still don't think that need is filled, though. Do you?
No, it wasn't that a one year deal.
The guy didn't play football last year.
Bears seem to be into those players lately. It's just guys that don't play football. They drafted a couple. They signed a couple last year that sat out 2020.
Yeah.
You know?
That was by
Okay.
choice.
Right.
Morrow was hurt. Ankle injury, right? Which is another problem. Look, this guy wasn't a superstar for the Raiders. Wasn't even a full-time starter, I believe.
No, he's fast, though. Honestly, to me, he seems more like a Will than a Mike. So that's why I haven't completely shut the door to the idea of Roquan Smith playing in the middle. I don't know what they're doing there. They still haven't really...
You have to add more. You have to add more. You have to add a lot.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of guys leave, but only 3 guys come in.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers aren't shaking out right now. Which is fine. Be patient.
Yeah,
There's still
no,
some names out there in free agency.
and this stuff takes weeks sometimes. I mean, I was thinking about Tashawn Gibson yesterday. Tashawn Gibson, didn't he re-sign...
A month after free agency opened. A month.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was your starter immediately.
Yep. And look at the Washington now Commanders. They got their starting left tackle after the draft. After the Bears drafted Tevin Jenkins and cut Charles Leno, Washington said, "Oh, here's our starting left tackle," and paid him. So for the situation the Bears are in, I'll tell you one thing I don't think they're doing. I don't think that they're just ripping this thing down and tanking. I don't think they're necessarily trying to win a Super Bowl this year. But I guess the one thing I understand some anxiety with is just the lack of moves on offense. And still the question remaining, how are you making Justin Fields better? Who is he throwing the ball to?
How are you helping him?
Right, exactly. And so, yes, patience is needed, but at the same time, until those questions get answered, and by the way, Ryan Poles will not be talking tomorrow. Will not be answering that question tomorrow.
No.
When some of these free agents address the media for the first time.
Patience doesn't always pay off in the NFL.
No.
Like how many coaches get fired after 2 or 3 years? How many quarterbacks are given up in 2 or 3 years? Now, sometimes it's admitting your mistake before it becomes a worse one, but a lot of teams act aggressively in the NFL for a lot of good reasons. Look at the quarterback market now. I mean, this veteran market, this trade market, forget free agency, the trade market for veteran quarterbacks is quite insane the past 3 or 4 years.
I think it's okay being cautious in free agency. I still think that there should be a category of players that you're willing to go get. Right? I would have put Brian Allen in that category. I would put Teron Armstead in that category still right now. He's still available. Now, he may be sitting there waiting to find out if Deshaun Watson's going to be his quarterback in New Orleans, and maybe will resign there regardless of what the money says. But, and by the way, I think that's a thing that's going on right now. I think it's it's definitely affecting the quarterback market, obviously. But I think there's a subset of wide receivers and offensive linemen that are probably waiting to find out where Deshaun Watson goes. Who's the quarterback going to be in Cleveland? You know, what happens with Matt Ryan? There's a trickle-down effect here, and if you're some of these guys that play offense, especially wide receiver, you probably want to know who your quarterback is.
Here's another one. Who's playing quarterback for the Colts?
No idea. Which is a bold way to go into free agency, too, right? Like, at least the Bears, they know who their quarterback is. But some of this stuff needs to get figured out.
If you think free agency is unpredictable, just wait till the draft happens. It's NFL teams act boldly because they appreciate certainty.
Yeah.
Some teams just act more boldly than others.
All right, well, we will continue to keep you updated on all this. There is some immediate availability at Hallis Hall tomorrow on Friday with 3 of the free agents they signed, Ogunjobi, Morrow, and Lucas Patrick. But like I said, Ryan Poles will not be talking. I don't know if he will at some point here in the next couple weeks, probably at the owners' meetings. But, yeah, see where the Bears go. Maybe there's more stuff that happens this weekend. But it's been a slow week for the most part. But we still appreciate you sticking with us here on the Hoge Jahns podcast. Make sure you are following us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns, CHGO, The Athletic, theathletic.com/Hoge Jahns. Please go subscribe. We appreciate your support. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit those notifications. And find the merch on obviousshirts.com. Johnsy, any final thoughts?
Celebrate responsibly, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Patty's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Lucas Patrick Day.
See ya.
The Packers, Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, go Bears.